Good evening, everybody. This is the Town of Halifax Planning Board meeting for Thursday, March 7th, 2024. We are meeting in the Selectmen's Meeting Room at Town Hall, 499 Plymouth Street, obviously here in Halifax. We're a little later than 7 o'clock, but we're starting. Also need to announce that this meeting is being filmed by Area 58 and can be viewed on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure it can still be viewed on cable access television, community access television. Has everyone had a chance to look at the agenda?
Yes, I would like to make a motion to add to the agenda pasture lane discussion.
I have a problem with that if we don't have everybody here. I don't believe everyone's here. And we have been trying to...
It's just for a discussion, and I'm putting it up for the board to decide.
I have a question. Does that have to be posted 48 hours prior to the meeting?
Yeah, that's not an emergency thing, and that's...
Emergency, it's been 15 years.
Well, I'm talking about the fact that for the planning board's meeting purposes tonight.
I understand, sorry.
Yeah. If you have a comment or something you want to say, I don't think I have a problem with that, but I don't want to get into a discussion about it.
I wanted to put it on as a discussion because I think that it was asked to be on, and it's not.
I believe the problem was we could not make contact with everybody, not the residents.
Correct.
But we're trying to still get a hold of the, and I don't want to talk about this too much because it's not on the agenda. We were trying to get a hold of the contractors involved. We have not been successful, and we have reached out to town council about trying to capture some of the available funds, and we have not resolved that yet. So that's why it's been put off again, not for this meeting. We just not going to be able to come to a resolution.
You know why we can't get hold of them?
If you want to make a motion, I'll second it and put it on as a discussion if you'd like to do that.
Thank you.
Moved and seconded to discuss pasture lane to some extent. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? No. So it passes. We will put that on the agenda. Our first appointment this evening is for 650 Industrial Drive, Matthew Ferreira. Did I say that right, or close to right? Okay. We're doing a site plan review of the existing building to add some office space on the second level.
Yes.
We're not adding to the footprint of the building.
No.
This is all inside the existing building,
Yeah,
correct?
they added 4,500 square feet on top, so it's going to be an occupied additional 45. It's up to 45 employees. I don't know if you guys have a chance to see that site plan, additional parking spots.
That was part of the problem here. Nothing got up soon enough to really kind of see if you...
Which one's 650? I'm sorry.
650 industrial, it's near the, right?
It's West Construction at the very end of the cul-de-sac.
Right-hand side?
No, right
At the cul-de-sac?
at the very end, yeah.
I don't know if these are all one copy, or if they're 5 copies of the same, but they are.
Probably 5 of the same.
We have a before.
Is that all of them right there, or is it in the file as well?
I don't think she has it in the file. I couldn't get in the room to look and see what was in there.
Well, the application's here.
In a nutshell, what did you add for parking? I assume it's the
Is
ones
there
in
one
red.
for
Yes,
us
some
to
of the
look
ones in
at?
red.
Oh, there's plenty of copies. I thought it was one package. Give one to Rick. I'm sorry.
We added for the 45 additional parking spots. We added a couple in the front. We have 1, 2, 5 in the front, we got an additional 12 on the side for the requirements.
You didn't do any additional, you're not doing any additional paving,
No,
so everything's existing in terms of drainage and flow and all that?
correct. The only thing is like on 167, we have to add crushed stone. You can't just leave it in dirt, you have to add a crushed stone to that.
Where was that? On the parking spaces?
Yeah, the front is where it's marked, that's paved already. The side is crushed stone, existing crushed stone, right?
Yeah.
It shows gravel surface.
Says gravel service now, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, okay.
so again, the footprint's not changing at all?
Nope. Like I said, they already had storage up on top, but they already had a staircase and everything. They were just gonna add the offices for them up there.
You're going to end up applying for a building permit, so he's going to do all the structural stuff anyway.
And the use on the second floor is just offices, not storage or anything like that?
No, just offices.
No equipment, no materials, nothing?
We got the mechanicals. The mechanicals keep a room for the HVAC, the new HVAC upstairs. But it was, what's weird about it was already pre-built for it, right? It's already sprinkled. They already had all their plumbing up there during the original construction. So,
Yeah, I remember the construction. Is this for in-house use, or are we renting space out?
nope, in-house,
In-house, all in-house?
all in-house.
Okay. So it's supporting the existing business?
Correct.
How many employees are you going to have up there?
It's built for 45. So I can see that. The reason we're doing this work was add on to what they have. We'll find a new location. Obviously, you guys know what prices are out there, so yeah. So they added on to it. Like I said, they have plenty of space if they had additional parking spots, but my engineer did all the calculations for 12 parking spots on the side and an additional 5 in the front.
It's not a big change to the existing site.
No, it's just adding offices upstairs and he's adding the parking.
Right. So it's not a change of use?
No, because they've got offices on the first level anyway.
They do, yeah, like I said, the first floor I'm just modernizing, putting carpet, paint, then upstairs is already existing, but it's an open slate, so we're gonna put up walls and divide offices.
How many offices do you think? Approximately.
I had to look at this. Seven and 1 conference room, and then cubicles in the middle.
Any additional baths, men's room, ladies' room?
Yep, right over the existing ones down below, we're gonna add another men's room, this, and a little kitchenette.
It's all going to be covered under the building permit. My only question was the gravel parking. Is that going to be maintainable? I mean, you're going to be able to plow that, keep it clear?
To be honest with you guys, I could put the gravel and spray it, right? All the gravels, once it hits with the plow, it's gonna turn. If they're a construction company, we have to do paving, that's nothing for them. This is what we do.
Well, would we make other businesses pave it?
I'm sorry?
Would we make other businesses pave it?
You don't necessarily have to pave it, I'm just asking the question.
But like press down and,
Yeah, it just has to be a hard surface. So
Yeah, that's what's there right now. They have all the equipment, we're gonna have to move all the equipment, add the parking lines, and
Where's the pavement end now, like pretty much at the end of the building?
so when we look at the back, this whole area is already gravelled. They have it for their equipment, all in the back area. pulling the truck in, you know, the generators that they have for the job sites.
So probably stop.
Yeah. That's pavement,
Yeah.
but this is all gravel.
Yeah. So there's-
And it's called out, you guys see the map, these are a lot of heavy equipment, construction equipment, gravel surface, construction, small material, gravel surface, it's all.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, all the lots, they were pretty good. So,
We don't need any other handicap parking spots.
Nope, they have it during the existing 21 parking spaces, they have it already up front.
So seeing all proposed infiltration basin, proposed everything, that's already there?
That's all.
This is just a plan they used from the original?
So my customer took the existing plan when they built the building.
Right.
And then we obviously had to take it modified to add more parking spots.
there's actually a few things that are missing on this plan. We had to put floor drains in because when we originally did it, they didn't put floor drains in, so there's actually a couple of tanks just outside the east, westerly side of that building.
It's not on this because this was the original, was not the revised one?
Yeah, it came up after the construction started that they weren't putting in a floor drain. So they actually had to cut the floor at the doors and put in a drain and run it out to a tank. It was a big deal because they couldn't get a tank, so they had to bust the baffles out and, because it was a hole in the tank. It's irrelevant to this anyway. How many, to fall back on the question about parking, handicap parking, how many do we have in total?
1, 2. I counted 1, I thought. I only see 1.
You have one up front, by the area.
Yeah.
It's because like the first floor is what's ADA accessible,
Yeah.
and then the second floor.
That you're gonna have to deal with the building inspector anyway in terms of ADA accessibility.
Are you gonna have an elevator?
No. Yeah, downstairs it's all built, has all the ADA cabinets, bathrooms, the whole thing.
Have you spoken to the building inspector?
Ed, yeah. When we met with Ed, that's why he's told me to come into here was for the parking spots, to make sure everything was okay, and then I'm gonna send this back for review.
Are you, other than the space, are you actually adding employees, physically adding employees, or are you just utilizing the space for the employees you have?
They're gonna probably add employees.
Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna, you know what I mean, if they're gonna add 45, most of their project managers right now on the field, but they're gonna be adding base when they come back from the job sites.
The building itself, used in any type of way for retail, as in sales, customers coming, or is it just employees?
Just employees. When I decided they have, first floor, all employees, the reception's up front. The back, they got all their maintenance techs that fix all the equipment in the storage area. And then second floor, they have no way for the project managers and stuff. That's what they're gonna be using.
I wouldn't know off the top of my head how many handicap spaces you need per square.
I'm looking for it right now.
Yeah, there's a formula in 521 CMR too. I don't know what it is offhand, I just can't remember. Not 521, 527.
I feel like there should be another one.
Did you do the calculations on the,
My engineer did RTA, George and Rafa.
so we still only have one handicap spot? I know that's not enough.
I didn't think so.
That's a van spot, right? No, it's not even a van spot.
It's the boss's spot.
The boss's spot.
I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, this spending that can be designated, I would imagine, or are they wide enough that it has to be?
Yeah, well, that's the point. It's not even so much that they're going to get used, it's just, is it appropriate? Is it the correct number?
Is it marked? Is it labeled?
Well, like you said, the engineer went off what's proposed, right, was first floor for what's existent, right, for handicap. There was one for first floor. Now, obviously, we're going to add 45 more occupancy up on second floor. That's non-ADA. But like I said, they have so much space there. If we have to add a couple more ADA spots, that's simple as a stencil. And have them sign.
I don't see you using 45 more spots anyway. But
The project manager's going to be in and out. It's more like when I was there doing walkthroughs, their base is all in the middle, like with all the receptions and stuff. So
I think what I'd like to see is, I'd like to see the engineering come back and show compliance with the requirement.
okay.
That's what I was thinking, that if we were going to make a vote, we could make it subject to complying with
Yeah,
the-
approval of a handicapped accessible.
Are we going to do we really don't need to do a peer review on this necessarily because it's already built and we're adding space.
Yeah, I don't think it warrants peer review. I think it's,
Well, like right before you were here, we used to say that everybody would do a peer review just to keep it all same.
well, the site's really not changing a whole lot. We're not,
That's staying in the same company.
yeah, we're not paving, we're not going to add to the drainage, we're
I think
not.
he's gonna
Just giving you
be,
history.
No,
he's
I
gonna be
understand.
subject to the building inspector anyway, so I don't
Yeah.
think we need to hold him up any longer than
Yeah,
saying,
just-
telling the building inspector what we're asking, and then just having him hold accountable, which obviously it seems like he has no problem doing.
How many square feet is the existing building?
What's your name? Rebecca. Let's talk about, she pulled up 521 CMR. 38 spots required, 2 handicap parking spots. So
You'll need another one.
it's nothing to add one. And I can edit that and send it back to you guys.
Subject to the revised plan, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd make a motion to accept the site plan with it complying with CMR. What's the number again?
21,
21?
521.
521.
I was right the first time. It was
For the handicap spots. And that we would sign the revised site plan.
527's fired.
So that would be my
I'll
motion.
second the motion contingent upon the compliance with the required.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the site plan, subject to the compliance with handicap parking, and, yes, subject to compliance with handicap parking. I think that was it, right?
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Good. Bring us back, I'm gonna send you a letter.
Were these just rolled?
Yeah, they were just rolled. You're in charge, Bert.
Okay, I'm a roll.
I'll give Bert a minute to do this thing.
I'll switch. This is 111.
Good job. Teamwork.
Was this the A&R that was delayed from the last time?
Yes.
I believe so, yes. We have a Form A application for 111 River Street. He has Hasiotis. Actually, Greek is Hashotis, but Silver Engineering.
Yes, Rebecca from Silver Engineering. If you're not familiar with a very large parcel It's Thomas and, oh gosh, Thomas River and Thomas, where the solar facility is. And we're carving out another piece of the very large parcel. I did bring the other ones, if you don't know where we are and how many other pieces we pulled out. It's large enough to cover 2 sheets, so.
Looking at this, it looks to me like you're carving the existing lot, no? Or this is the lot that's there now?
The green is the piece that's going to be conveyed out. So if I go to the locus, you are upside down. I don't know if that matters to you.
No, not really, I know what it is.
Okay. So if we go to the locus, let's go do this. We carved this one out, we carved this one out, and now we're going to carve this weird configuration out. And it's weird because it has a ratio of usable uplands. We went through an ANRAD process, and this is the minimum viable product that they want at the moment. So one more piece of the puzzle. So this sliver is your viable frontage.
You got your circle in there?
You get your circle in there. And then the rest, and then the parcel remaining, the remaining of lot 1 actually has frontage on Wood Street.
That's where I was getting confused. I didn't know how that fit into the corner where the lot comes up onto Thompson Street.
Right, and it stops at the Halifax. The parcel's owned on the Middleborough side, but we're stopping here, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Saturday part.
You knew this was going to be easy to do.
No, this whole thing wasn't easy, so this is just, actually, this should be the easiest part.
Dealing with that was the hardest.
I didn't say it.
Is any of this that you're subdividing off, does it have any approvals on it for any of the solar? Like, is anything going to be?
We went for an ANRAD and we went for a plan of land, and that's all I know.
Okay.
I know they're looking to make the sale, and that's all I know at the moment. They don't tell me anything. I'm the last person to find out what's going on.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if there was any of the
Me too.
solar farms on it.
No, there are no
Because,
solar farms.
No, the solar's next door.
The solar's right here.
so I'm just making sure, so the site plan where they had like the road like going out and went over here, it's not, and none of that is on any of this.
No.
That's
That's
subdivided.
all on there.
So the solar's all
Oh, actually, I
on
think
this
I
one.
have the
yeah.
solar parcel that we carved out.
Oh.
We carved out this that they're using for solar.
Well, there's two that we use for solar.
Right.
So this is the one with the buttons cutting through it. And then when you turn it around to up, they're using this one. So you're, I don't have their design, but this is the piece that they did for solar in the middle.
We're right in between them then.
So I'm just making
And
sure.
around them, yeah.
We're making sure that nothing lags over into, because there was, remember the road?
Yeah.
Do you remember, like, remember that?
The existing
And then they
road.
went to conservation, and remember that way they ended it was changed, remember that?
Oh,
And they
yeah.
tried to slide that, I'm making sure it's not on this. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah. I don't believe it is. We got an arrow.
What is the zone?
It's all industrial.
It's all industrial?
Yes.
But it's this.
We've met all the criteria, right?
Met all the criteria.
We have-
Plenty of uplands.
We have the upland. We have our circle, like I said.
Yeah, these little pieces actually add up to quite a bit. And if you were to have the second page, you would
I
see
do.
that there's a bit
Remember
more
they had to
upland.
move the little house there, right? The little unit where the power box was, or something like that?
We're doing solar.
Is it further down than?
I am not doing anything on this. I do not know what the
I can't.
end product will be.
The perks are terrible over there.
I don't know.
Or we did some test bits for suitability for other projects up over here, and there's nothing.
The only place the perks is about a half a mile down the street.
Can we make sure that,
Isn't that where they're gonna do that grow place at one time?
Yeah.
Same.
Yes,
Perk
that
was like,
fell through. Yes, that's
was
what
like
it
a half a mile away or something.
It was like a 2-mile force main. Yeah, and it didn't work.
Yeah, it was gonna be indoor grow at first, and then it was gonna be outdoor grow, and then it was nothing.
Yeah.
can we make sure that none of it has the solar on any of the subdividing areas?
The piece in the middle was already divided, and it's already had the site plan approved for the solar. So they shouldn't have.
It doesn't leave that land where you're
No.
moving.
And especially because there's buffers to wetlands and stuff, they're actually in their parcel more.
Okay.
This is the solar, isn't it?
You want to see it in there?
That's where the solar is.
Yeah, that's existing.
Up in the top left.
So there's just all,
Around this.
yeah.
That's how it looks up here. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
I do.
It's turned at a 90 degree counterclockwise to that. It goes down like this.
It's a weird.
So the solar's here. Is that what you're
With
saying?
the amount of wetlands.
And
the
up on the sign.
So
We
the
had all
frontage is-
flags 3 times, and this was, what was the
So you
stuff?
would have
Just for the record, could you state your name and what
Rebecca
company you're from?
Silva Engineering.
Yeah, I think we did
Just this
I
is
did it all,
River
it's
Street.
okay, sorry.
Might not have heard you know.
This is River Street, and this is Wood Street right here.
Right. I just don't see where this, am I missing somehow where the street is here? You know what I mean?
Where the street is?
Yeah, like
Oh, you mean inside the actual?
No,
no. I mean like where the street is to show the frontage.
Yeah, it's cut. This is shut off right
yeah,
here.
you have the second page.
You only
two
have-
pages.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is
No wonder why no wonder why
what I was trying to
So
explain.
do you see what this is what I'm looking at with no
Oh, yeah,
street.
yeah, we're gonna put them together.
Okay.
So it goes like this, if you wanna look at it. Together now. No, no, stay. That's the match.
Oh, yeah, there's a match line, yeah.
So,
I got you.
yes, you were missing a piece.
Yeah, I was like, where's the street? 465. Oh, plenty of frontage.
What's that building?
It's just a concrete
Pad
remnant.
from Atlantic Research, where they used to test munitions.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I remember going out there when the sheds were still there.
So for your clarification, let me make it bright. Because it helps. So their solar
Yeah.
is all internal.
There.
Yeah. That line is like the cart, well, not the cart path, but the entrance that comes down the side here. So we're talking about all in here. So there's a clear demarc with the gravel path. And that's the concrete path that he.
Okay.
And then this is the other piece, the solar, where they could squeeze it.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's nothing connecting
Nope.
over.
No,
I would be okay with it with a condition to make sure that there isn't any solar approvals on it. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like any, so last year, Bart, back me up. Was it last year?
I actually think it was longer than that.
yeah, it might have been, but continue.
Neither here nor there. But before, they had this road that went out and it went into like a distance.
Yeah, I know the road.
Okay, so when I went into the conservation, they had changed it. And I want to make sure that it's not like continuing on. So like just a condition that would state that there isn't any approvals of, what am I going for here? You know what I'm trying to get at, but
We're just doing the Form
I was
A.
gonna say, yeah,
Yeah.
any
You know, that
future
really
work.
has nothing to
has a
do
site
with any
plan.
construction or anything else.
Yeah.
They'll need a whole bunch of other permits if they were trying to do it.
Yeah.
I mean like an overlapping of anything that we've approved on the land here. I'm just going over it as a topic to
Yeah, no,
discuss.
I appreciate where you're coming from, but I think we need to stay on.
Yeah, see the,
If I may, I understand.
Okay.
But a lot of times the title insurance and a surveyor or an altar will be prepared so that the buyer and the seller don't have encroachments. So it's really on them to make sure that they don't have encroachments on each other's property.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just looking
You know what
at
I do.
the
I do,
cut.
and anything they're going to try to do with whatever engineer in the future, you will have a site plan with an existing conditions and everything like that. But as our surveyors were out there was no encroachments between the two.
Okay.
That's all I can tell you.
That's kind of the answer I was looking
That's kind of
for.
the answer you want, although you can't really condition a plan, but it's noted in the minutes. Maybe that could be enough.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to discuss it and make sure that we were all on the same.
If there is an encroachment, it's between the buyer and the seller to clear it up, and I think in the end, this buyer is going to buy all of it, so it's going to be all his anyway.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're just doing an A&R.
Right.
The simplest.
Yeah, I get it, and it's not even required, I get it, but just making sure that we're not
Yeah.
leaving something on the table that we shouldn't, That's all.
That's a good thought.
Can I ask a question about this? You said subdivide. Does this mean just for solar panels, or if they're buying everything, can they subdivide for houses?
Could you just identify
Oh,
yourself,
I'm
please?
sorry, Kimberly Campbell. We own property across the street on Wood Street, 137 Wood Street.
Okay.
So can it be subdivided for houses, or this is
No.
just a solar plan?
Well, it's not a plan for anything right
Okay.
now. It's just a subdivision of property, of land. But it's zoned industrial, so there is no residential use at this time, unless it were to be rezoned at some future time.
Okay.
Which would have to be at a town meeting.
Which,
Right.
yeah, right.
But just so you know too, it's mostly wet.
Oh, yeah, it's
You
very
can see
wet over
it.
there. Yes.
If you want to get up and see it, is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I mean, we're dealing with flooding across the street there, so, yeah.
See, so this is how the street would be, so like,
Yes, across the street.
and then on this side.
Across the street.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And any business that were to want to go in there would need to come to us for a site plan review and all that. They can't just pop it up just because it's been subdivided out.
Right, well, I just double checking, right, I mean, it's
Yeah,
so wet
no,
over
for sure.
there, there's
It's a valid
like a
question.
pond over there right now, I don't,
So it's a water park.
it can
We
be.
can put a water park in there for the kids with it.
Does anyone else have any other questions? I think it's pretty straightforward.
I'll make a motion to
Weird, but
approve.
straightforward.
I'll second the motion.
Moved and seconded to approve the A&R. All those in
Yep.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I suppose you want us to sign this one?
That would be preferred, thank you.
Do we have the right one?
Yeah, we've got in the,
You remember the chart we had?
we have to sign both sheets, right?
Do we have a copy for us? Well, we do. Should we sign some of the ones that are in here too?
You should, so that we have record of it.
That can be signed.
That can be signed with a regular ink. I signed it there.
It's nothing special, Amy, it's just a felt pen,
Yeah. I'm just
because that's all she
trying
had.
to find, I have a lot of fine points. Not a felt one that's very visible. Hold on.
Just make a one.
Oh, yeah, but
We have a contribution, we
So,
have,
don't mind.
Sure, of course.
Motion them, but you gotta get to the second page.
it's a planning board
Make this
courtesy.
easy for you.
Thanks for the backup.
Yeah, and I responded to.
Yes, perfect. This is 2-page. Pen ready.
Oh, the one you gave me?
Yeah, so that one and then I'm,
Take them on staple, we'll just use it.
so I've already got that.
March 7th, right?
That's okay, as I said, it's just.
I didn't date it, I want to date it. Page 7, 2020, put the date bottom.
What is today?
Wherever there's a single line and just sign it. How's that?
I think one of them is back to me, if that's okay.
You get the
Just the bottom?
felt removed? So these ones are both good. These ones are both good. So if you go like this, right in there.
Oh, I'll date it. Grazie.
And then right underneath.
Look at you.
Yes, you may.
A couple of weeks off on fire, just ready to help. Oh, did we miss it? This is gonna be a fun one. I'll make sure the signature looks right.
Second sheet on this too, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I missed it.
All right, I can't find it. Oh, right under it? Oh, I see. Going too far.
Who did we borrow this from? Thank you. Yes. Oh, gosh. Amy, you know, we're gonna need that pen back, please. Charge for
Let's see.
I know, it's okay.
There's date on that one, they want data. Since you did the handwriting.
I will reassemble. Something I want to do on this.
Yeah. So 2 down. You bet, thank you.
Do we keep these for us or do we shove those?
Yeah, maybe.
Tom, no, Tom's on there.
Am I on there? I'm on there.
I believe,
What did I do?
I don't know,
I didn't sign it, no.
right? Is that coming?
That's right.
Any specific place we want this so that it gets reported?
In my
I
hand?
must have.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
gonna
you're
get
the
to
one
the
that reports.
applicant.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And it's not in the same meeting.
These are my short.
1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 of these.
So this one's missing, Bert.
What?
This one right
Did I
here.
miss one?
And then that's 5.
There's no need to sign the next 4 copies, correct? I'm saying there's 4
That one I
copies in here. We have
Oh, gosh.
All right.
right underneath. It's right underneath.
This one's folded different.
There's no.
Oh.
Nobody
You
signed
know
it.
what I keep doing is going beyond it.
We're now doing signed copies, so if anybody wants to see one,
Yes.
they'll sign it first.
Yes.
Okay,
This is complete.
cool. Yes, you did.
And then this one needs.
This one means everybody.
It's complete?
This one, ooh, needs both sides.
That's complete. How we doing?
If you're on
You
this.
want to stay on as our admin side?
No, I think that's the same.
Okay, I see how.
All the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no? How about that one? This has 4, so
So one goes back in the file at least, right?
Yeah, we have some copies. If somebody wants to come in and find a copy, we've got things with signatures on it.
this one has a second page. Are you on there?
Not yet.
Well, yeah, I like the ones.
Like even the building inspectors on that one, with the sign copy, you know, it's just-
So we're gonna put all of them, and then she's taking one.
I get one too if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, please. And then we have the Mylars already over
I
here.
have my arm.
Yep.
Walk out with that.
I think they're all.
I think we're all
All right, Rocco?
These 4.
Thank you, nice to
You
see
get
you.
that one and.
Get this one. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Do?
All right, moving along.
Okay.
116 R Plymouth Street. Ladomiro. Barbosa. Proposed shed manufacturing in the unit.
That is correct.
Would you like to talk about it?
Yes, please. There you go. So, it's very simple. The entire idea here
We are the company that we manufacturing the sheds in that building, and all the sales that we do, they're gonna do that online. And that's pretty much it. Inside here, that's when we're gonna build the parts for the shed, bring it to the customer's house, and then sell it on the wall.
But you're gonna manufacture them in the building.
That is
I think you've already spoken to the building inspector. We had a brief discussion about it. That's a light manufacturing use in the business district, which requires a special permit from the zoning board of appeals. I think you may have already applied, or did you?
Yes, I'm giving them all the paperwork, this coming.
So you're aware of it? And everything?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the pump house.
Yeah. Are these just construction plans?
What's that?
Are these just plans for the building?
That is correct. I'm sorry, this is the entire, the architect is the one that did it.
Okay.
Based on the goals, everything necessary to the building. Does that make sense?
Problem I believe that we've been having at that particular site, not this particular building, but is trying to get something incorporated onto a site plan. I don't know exactly what you're gonna need for parking there, but someone's gonna have to put that use onto a site plan and make sure that we have covered whatever additional parking that the whole place may need. Maybe there's enough parking in the whole unit now.
That is correct.
But I don't know that. That needs to be put on a plan. Have you talked to the property owner at all?
Yes.
I'm sure he's aware of it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, this has come up before on that address, not just that building, but for the whole project. And it's been kind of problematic getting anything reduced to a site plan.
And they've actually divided more of the building now because that one
Right.
side is now 3. And they did it on a weekend.
Yeah, the only thing there is they didn't increase any space, but,
But the parking,
yeah. Well,
well, they have to make sure.
yeah, no, this is my point.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know
Just
that
wait till
there
we get
isn't
the
enough.
signs.
Well, that was coming up.
That's next.
I don't know if you're going to be talking about signage, but I didn't have the discussion with the building inspector, but I believe there's at least one illegal sign there, because we're only allowed 2 for the whole property, and there's one makeshift, not makeshift exactly, but one thrown together sign for the kitchen. I don't even know if the kitchen's still operating. Does anyone have any idea? Not that it matters, but that sign's still out there.
I believe it is. I don't think it's open full-time, but it's a relative that's going in there from what I understand.
Okay. Are you planning on any signage over there? Do you need signs, or do you put up a sign? You could probably put a sign on the building, but I don't think you can put one out on the street.
There's already,
No problem. As long as you can put on the building, that's all it matters for me.
there's already a shed at the farm stand part.
Is that your shed at the farm stand? No.
I
You're
believe.
gonna be able to get around the farm stand to get to the, or you'd go in by the car wash?
No, so the Nezers are, and then there's parking lot, and then there's the building.
Oh, right. I was thinking the farm stand came up adjacent to the,
That's in between. You can actually get a good view of the building.
yeah. Be nice to have something in there.
No, I agree.
Yeah. Maybe. It just comes down to that site plan. You get that.
Yeah, it's not you.
That's my concern with it. We still have never gotten a clean site plan for the place.
No.
Zahid put one together, he had to pay for it.
Just for his,
Or just for his one section.
yeah, I believe.
And it's, yeah, and that's not even up to date either because he's added things that weren't on his site plan.
But I know the property owner has been very reluctant to participate in that. I think we should probably table this
I would 100% agree.
and try to have you contact the owner, I can't remember his name,
Malone.
and see if we can put together some kind of a site plan that shows this and where your parking's gonna be, because you're gonna have employees. We need to get something.
Can I jump in?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
As a motivated entrepreneur, the only thing that has kept anybody from going into that building, and there have been multiple business owners that have attempted to go into that building, and the only thing that has kept them is from a simple site plan being done on the entire property. That is it. So if you can have the discussion as a motivated entrepreneur, that the only thing that is going to keep you from getting an approval from this board is that the owner of that building gets a site plan for that land plot for the entire building, then we slide through with checking boxes and welcome to town. I will tell you though, it has not passed multiple businesses because of the reluctancy of the owner of providing us that site plan. So,
Good luck.
that is not good luck in a way of, we're not here to help. It is, we want you in that building, assuming you can check all the boxes of the site plan, but we have to have a site plan to be able to go to peer review, and it cannot just be on that one building. It has to be the whole building.
whole site.
The whole site. That's it.
If you guys don't mind me say something?
Sure.
Even though I'm not gonna have customers coming over to do any sort of business in the shop, you guys will still need that, right?
Yes,
Unfortunately.
yeah.
Yep. But if you can get that,
And the unfortunate thing is, once the property owner does that, then he's got it. And anytime something changes, it's just a minor, maybe not minor, but a simple change, to whatever business changes or whatever, just to make sure that they
For
meet
the entire lot.
For the entire parcel, yeah, for the entire, and it's a
anything that
large
goes into that
parcel.
building from now on, but that one space.
Right.
We've seen 4 or 5 different opportunities come across this table in the 3.5 years I've been here. And for some reason, there's reluctancy on the other end, or resistance on the other end to get a site plan. So if you have the magic wand to wave over to get that done, we can't wait to have you back.
So just to confirm, you guys are looking for the entire building,
Site
The
plan.
whole
The
piece of
entire.
property.
The whole property.
Property.
When you
entire
make-
property.
Because when you're making an adjustment to one piece, it essentially affects the re-engineers the entire site. So, and we don't have an up-to-date site plan on that site. The last one we have, if we even have a copy, is back when there was
King's Supermarket.
a supermarket in there, right, before I was born, right? So at the end of the day, we've just requested an updated, and unfortunately, it has killed some really good businesses' opportunities.
The last one we received, I believe, was when the...
It's a mechanic.
When the fitness center went in.
Oh, right.
I couldn't
That was
find
a while
that in the
ago.
files, though, remember?
Yeah, I know Danielle has looked too to see if she could find one, we couldn't find one.
Yeah.
But somebody's got one. And I don't think it's that big an effort for him, my opinion, to go out and find out who did it the last time and just make the modifications on it. It's
We've
not
been
that
asking
big
for
a
it.
deal. The buildings haven't changed. Everything that's there now has been there for quite some time. It's just laying out the parking and making, showing us that we have all the parking that's necessary for the businesses that are in there. And they've changed a little over the course of time, too.
that is a dog business there. I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys are aware about it or not. I thought that they were the ones that did it.
No.
The plan.
No, because he was going inside the existing building. But even that isn't 100% accurate because they've changed doors, the entrances have changed. And again, he doesn't bother to come back, and I don't want to make it sound adversarial.
I get it.
But
This is being recorded by Area 58 and available on YouTube.
yes. Thank you for the reminder.
So just so I know, if something happens and I can make it happen
Yeah.
with them.
Please do.
Once I have that in my hands.
just not right.
What's my next step here?
Just come back.
Bring it back, we submit it
You
for
want another
peer.
meeting?
Yep.
Then we submit it for peer review.
What you have right
and
here?
then we make sure our engineers make sure that all the things you need the boxes are checked. If there are boxes that aren't checked, we just say, hey, check the boxes. We get another final approval, and you are a new business in town, and we really want that. It's just, you're gonna have to let's put it this way. What I'm trying to do here by letting you in behind the curtain is I'm trying to take any kind of opposition off the table that in some way, shape, or form, we don't want that building to be occupied. We want that building occupied. We have just asked multiple times for that site plan to be updated and been met with reluctance. So when you're having the conversation, if there is anything that is said in which we're trying to keep people out, I want you to hear directly from me that couldn't be further from the truth.
Amen.
So if there is some reason why a site plan does not want to be done, that might not be a situation you want to be going into anyways, but if it can be done, we'd love to have you.
Great. And there's nothing extra or additional to that we're asking of that piece of property to make it any different than any other one we've done in town. They're all trying to keep the same set of rules for everybody.
We'll make it super easy is if you can just get us the thing that we've been asking for the last at least 3.5 years.
Too bad I didn't know that before.
It's all right. No, but it's good.
Now that I know, I'll see what I can do.
Bring that guy with you. I think you might have a easier conversation.
So, are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
You guys have been wonderful night.
We want to work with it.
Yeah,
Thank you, I appreciate it.
for sure.
I'll see you guys again.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you. You too. So they'll need to get a full site plan in here, just as a note for secretary, before 45 days on this, right? So we need to make sure that this is on the second April meeting,
Right, so that, the
just
first
in
one
case,
is, the
because
first one is the
we'll need
4th,
to extend.
so the book will be the 21st again.
I think it's the 18th, to be honest with you. 4 and then 14 is the 18th.
First meeting in April is the 4th, I think.
Yeah, and then the 18th.
It'll be the 11th and the 18th, right?
So I'm just saying, because we don't want
April
this to
8th
just
and
go
the
by
12th.
Yep.
without,
But we'll
So just a
leave
note.
A note for her that,
do we have any?
April 4th and the 18th.
do we-
no, I don't have any stickies. Randy?
Oh, you know what? No, we have some.
That was not meant with disrespect.
Of course you do.
Plus it's like not, I don't know why I can't open it. I'll get it. We can move on to the next thing. I'll write the note. I just wanted to be, watch the dates is what I'm saying.
The next thing on the
285 home.
agenda is a discussion on 285 Home Street, the Liddell and Okerfeld property. This is a discussion about compliance with the site plan that was approved on June 17th, 2021. The discussion is to revolve around revisiting the site plan as some changes perhaps have been made. And I know that there was a request for the owners to come to the meeting, but they were not able to attend tonight.
No, Tom, I'm here on behalf of the...
Oh, you're here. Oh, okay. I was wondering what exactly was going on there, so.
Yeah, no. I called and I sent emails indicating that Mr. Liddell is out of state, but I never got a response back. So here we are.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Chairman, if we're gonna have conversation, this, I gotta recuse from it.
Yes, yes, you do.
So I just sit in the audience and...
Yes, you can participate, but you just can't be representing the board.
Before, just as a note, the 45 days is actually, we'll have to have this on April 4th.
I was going to say, it's
Yeah.
going to be quicker than because I remember talking to Danielle about it. I think she actually put some extension letters in the packet.
Okay.
And I forgot about it.
Okay.
Or is this it? No, that's that what you were putting in front of me? Sorry.
Are you an attorney too? That's why you have a bag full of tricks.
No, I'm also I'm the chair of the Plimpton.
Oh, very nice.
That's
Oh,
why-
yeah, nice. Very nice. Nice.
If we don't get it by the 4th, we'll have to just turn it down so that we can
Right.
have constructive.
Okay. Do we have that file?
I I believe you asked for the meeting, is that correct?
Sir.
Could you just identify yourself for the...
Yep, Jake Okerfeld, 301 Home Street.
And your concerns were?
There's multiple concerns. So obviously, the last meeting that was posted in respect to this property, there was a motion held that said that if the place would be put back on, that it'd be a stop work order. Obviously, I've provided proof that there is a business being ran out of it right now, and it's not storage of antique furniture. Actually, all the way up till Tuesday the 5th, the fire department had to respond to there and make way to the back of the property to extinguish a fire that one of the employees had going that he left unattended. So it's getting to the point where it's negatively affecting my family, where the lights are being kept on. They don't have a site plan for the lights. They're shining right into I provided all the photographs and videos of it that shining into my property. They're not supposed to exceed past their property lines. They're working outside 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, moving equipment, signposts. I've had conversations with Theo Liddell, which is, from what he said, he's the nephew of Liddell, and he's running a business. He said he's trying to start his own business for the, I guess you'd call it a sub-business of Liddell, providing street signs and stuff like that. He's been working on vehicles inside the building, which there is no floor drains in that building, so I don't understand how he's working on working on the vehicles, painting them, sanding them, doing all that stuff. I just think, as far as the parcel of property that's in the middle of residential, he needs to be respectful to his neighbors, and he needs to be held accountable to the bylaws that everybody else is accountable for.
Do you have did you bring any of the pictures or anything?
I forwarded them all to Danielle.
Okay. I did drive by there. I saw the barrel with the...
Yeah, so this is the second time the fire department's been out there. The first time they told them you can't, as obviously industrial use, you're not supposed to burn it at all. So.
What are they burning, if you don't mind me asking?
So from what I heard from my wife was the other day, there was so much smoke that it looked like they were just throwing barrels of whatever they're pulling out of the building. So it could be trash, could be anything. I can't confirm.
Oh, it's not timber, woods?
No, from what I've been told is it appears to be trash and debris from inside the building.
Plastics?
It could be. I can't confirm on that.
I have had occasion to look at some of the pictures. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that we were actually going to do this tonight. Had I known we were going to do it, we would have had it ready to put up on the screen.
I figured I'd show up just because I was advised from Danielle that it wasn't going forward tonight, that Mr. Liddell and his representative were out of town. So, but peace of mind, I just figured I'd show up. I didn't know, obviously.
I was, and of course Danielle's not here to discuss it, and it doesn't matter at this point anyway. It's on for a discussion, so we can discuss it at least.
I mean, and that's just the brunt of it. I mean, there's problems with, I know you guys have approved, drainage, stuff like that, but obviously that's still an issue. I mean, they put retention basins in that are overflowing, they're flowing across 36. I mean, it's within the Monpont watershed. I mean, there's a big issue about what's going on over here with the wheelback and the removal of the sand. But what about this? This is part of the Monpont watershed. This is a high yield water aquifer right on the corner of their property.
I think Mr. Haywood submitted some photos of the water rushing down.
Actually, I've submitted photos to not only the planning board, but also the Conservation Commission. In the last Conservation Commission meeting, they discussed to bring back Liddell in front of the board because of those concerns.
Do we have available a copy of whatever was approved for the site plan originally?
Yeah, because way back in the day, wouldn't there be, requirements for the lighting to be shielded and times and all that kind of stuff? But, I mean, I saw one picture where it looks like high beams from a car.
We've actually spent hundreds of dollars worth of our own hard work and money to put these blinds up in the house because, they're neglecting to shut the lights off. I mean, it states clearly in the motion that in the event that they turn those lights back on, there'll be a stop work order.
We probably don't have it because she wasn't expecting it.
with the
I
individual
would-
running a business out of
I would
there, has specifically told me he's
Say
running a
that.
business.
We
out of
said
there.
if they had a problem, that they'd
It's
have to
not
come.
antique furniture storage. I mean, they got vehicles parked inside the building, no floor drains. Who knows if they even have a sprinkler system? I mean, as a concerned neighbor, I'm worried about all of a sudden the place burns down, I'm not home, is it gonna burn into my property? You know, they're not in they're in violation of so many laws. I mean, don't even get me started about all the unregistered vehicles that are on the property, which I've been addressed, you know, to the boards and stuff.
How many?
like that. There's gotta be a half dozen.
Have we changed the use of the building?
So just for everyone's information, my name is Ann Soboleski. I'm here representing the owner of the property who was not able to attend. So a lot of the information that has been stated and provided are not things that I am aware of, and I don't know if they're things that the property owner is aware of. We haven't seen any photographs that have been submitted. We haven't seen any of that information. To the extent that this was discussed at a prior meeting and there was a statement made that a stop work order would be issued for the property, we have no knowledge or information of that ever happening.
Was that at, excuse me, was that at a planning board meeting, or was that something, a discussion with the zoning officer?
What date was it, Jake?
I don't know off the top of my
I'm just
head,
trying to get a timeline on this.
but I can
Was it
just,
last March?
I can just show you right here that the motion, Troop and Millius.
Millie's being my
Your
son,
son.
Mark, not
Okay.
this Millie's.
Can I look at the date on
Yeah,
this?
go
Do you
with
mind
that.
if I?
Yeah, so that's a screenshot, so I don't know if it has the date actually on it, but I think that was around June of 2021, if I recall.
That long ago now?
Yeah, it's been a couple
I
years.
thought we had it come back after that and had a
So it came
discussion.
back for the soil and the drainage, and that's when Attorney Schwein came back and said that the property's vacant, will remain
Would
vacant,
have been around that time.
and not be used for anything. I mean, clearly, the definition of vacant is there's no personal property on the property, and it's not being utilized.
Yeah, that's too stupid. Clearly, you're not prepared. I'm making an assumption here. Don't let me put words into your mouth.
No, that is an accurate assumption, but I will say, I mean, to the extent that there is something outstanding that the board has decided and made a motion about, we would obviously like to know exactly what that is. To the extent that there is going to be a future use in the property, we would come back to the board with an application for site plan review to allow a use on the property of that nature. And I have, been looking for an engineer to draw up a new site plan so that that could be presented to the board with all of the appropriate documentation to allow a use at the property.
So in the meantime, before that process is all done,
No, it's okay.
Before that process is all done, finding an engineer and whatnot, you're going to continue with this business that's being there with the trucks and the employees and the 6 vehicles being stored there without the drainage,
Yeah.
the lighting.
I'm not familiar with exactly what may or may not be going on the property, but I can say, I mean, to the extent that there are vehicles parked on the property, I don't know that that necessarily contradicts the previously issued site plan review, right, that allowed the building to be expanded, and it was for storage and for things like that. So to the extent that there are things being stored in the property that would comply with the existing site plan review, we wouldn't expect to stop doing that. But if there are things that are being done that are not in compliance, that's something that we can take steps to address and get a site plan review application back to this board so that they can appropriately review it.
The only other question I have is directed to you, and you said you've notified conservation, the building inspector, the Board of Health, drainage, was the company Liddell CC'd, copied about all of that? I mean,
Not on my emails, no, I don't have the information, contact information. The only person I've been in contact with is Theodore, I think it's Theodore Liddell, and he has, shut the lights off after a long week and stuff like that, but this is like the 5th or 6th time. It's getting to the point where, like I said, it's negatively affecting my family.
Are we, just to clarify, we are in possession of the pictures?
Yes, yep, Danielle
So that's
has not
something you
only
could
the pictures,
request.
so she's got the photographs that.
Copies of, so that you can see them.
So there was a night that I went down there and I actually struck up a conversation with, Theodore Liddell, and he, showed me the whole entire side of the building, and I said, wow, I was like, this place is beautiful. And I said, do you mind if I take pictures? And he said, absolutely not, I don't care.
And that was
Yeah.
Tuesday, you said there were vehicles inside with the businesses being constructed? Tuesday the 5th, I thought you used.
Tuesday the 5th, the fire department actually showed up to extinguish an unattended fire that was in a burn barrel out in the parking lot.
With a piece of plywood in front of it, I drove by, I
That's
saw
the
it.
second time they've done that.
I was gonna take a picture.
Lead time, I guess, between the application process being submitted,
What
let
we-
this continue? I don't understand.
What we can do is,
Can I just?
Sure.
Sorry. As the neighbor, I don't care what they do there. They just have to respect the neighbors. I mean, this isn't the industrial park where they were before. This is one parcel of land that's industrial zone in the middle of residential, okay? Whatever they want to do, they spent the money on the property. I'm not even going to get into the soil removal because it was well over what they should have had for a permit. But they need to respect the property owners that are abutters. And turning the lights on and leaving them on for a
At
week,
least have them shielded.
they
the property owner.
should abide by the bylaws, just like every Casa Grande. He wants to put a building over here to work on his cars or store his cars. He is required to put storage drains or drains.
Floor drains.
Yeah, in his building. How are they working on vehicles inside that building? Who knows if there's sprinkler systems or drains, the right drainage? I mean, it's...
what I was going to suggest, what we can do is ask the zoning enforcement officer for enforcement of the original site plan. And, verify that it has not exceeded that. And if it has, then they're subject to fine, or, they need to at least accommodate everybody until we can get a site plan for whatever the revised use is going to be.
Do you want me to?
Is there any lighting included in that original site plan?
Can I say anything?
Sure,
I know more about this.
No, absolutely.
But I get shut down every time I try to say anything in the past. And, first of all, they cleared and stabilized over 60,000 square feet behind the building, cleared all the trees. The water runs at the street at a 3% pitch. In heavy rains, it just floods the
I was
street.
gonna read this out
They
loud.
had issues with
Yeah.
it. They put
Do
the
you
little
mind?
catch basins in with no approved plans, nothing by engineers. So that was everybody knows what happened. And so they finally went back to land planning and they made up another drainage design that went to review. And I guess it got all approved. I don't know, because I just got so disgusted because nobody listened to anything I had to say. But anyway, they never put that drainage in. When it rains hard, it still blows across the street. They took thousands of yards of material out of there, which, I've complained, but they did what they did. They got away with it. No removal permit, no buffer zones, no consideration for any abutters or neighbors. And now they just, like at that last meeting, they sent their lawyer because Josh Liddell, who was running the deal, just got disgusted with it from what I understand, and had their lawyer come, and that's when he said, we're not going to do anything until we come back for, figure out what we're going to do there. And so supposedly they're supposed to be storing antique furniture. They never had any intention of that, in my opinion. They've been storing cars there since day one. When the assessors went in there were cars stored in there.
These personal
They
cars
put
or business
paper up
cars?
in the window so you can't see the cars. It's ridiculous. It's just pathetic. They're just getting away with whatever they want to do, and no matter how much I say anything or anybody else, nothing gets done.
Rick, are these commercial cars or personal cars being sold?
No, these, trucks and equipment.
Yeah.
So there was a
Seems like
motion.
there's just a bunch of iron that when he sold the business over in the industrial park, he just kind of brought them over there, just the old iron.
So the,
Out the back.
This troop's got a copy of the,
thank you. So yes, Rick, that is true. And that's when we actually made, after this problem, we did make a motion that we would always send things to a peer review, remember? Because we didn't want this to occur
We
again.
didn't do peer review for the first approval, that's what started all this right from the beginning.
Right, and we learned from that mistake.
Do what they wanted, so.
Well, no, we didn't, well, it wasn't intentional, Rick.
Safety.
Yeah, it's not intentional. So we did try to remedy this, and it looks like it's somewhere around March 2022 with a motion to accept the site plan as long as the lighting does not go, I guess hindsight 2020, we didn't, to accept the site plan as long as the lighting does not go on until they come back, and they will have a stop work order if they go forward with any business without coming back to us with a site plan the day after they start business. Change of use, meaning from the storage that they claimed that they had. So we're saying that if they change the use, that we would issue a stop work order. You're absolutely correct.
Drainage problem has never been.
So this will all have to come back.
Got to do anything about that.
They now need to do all of this, right?
All that drainage should be put in, everything should be all done.
1000%.
Meet all the bylaws before anything happens there.
1000%.
No?
So if there were to be somebody to be sent to the property to fact check that motion, who would that be and when would that be?
All enforcement is done through the zoning enforcement officer. The planning board would have to request an enforcement action of the zoning enforcement.
Because of our motion. And
Because of
that
any
was,
motion. He did.
no, we did. We made a motion at that meeting, and that's what I just read.
Yep.
And it might not be 100,000% clear, but we did try to make something, and I get it. Rick, we were just saying.
No, I mean,
The problem is,
I understand.
I get it rubbed on my nose every day. 'Cause I'm up on the other side, on the hill on this side of the tracks,
All right.
and I see it every day for years.
We're trying to remedy it.
This is becoming a two-person thing here. Hold on, just for a second here.
If I could just ask a question. So the motion that you just read off, is that memorialized in something so that I...
In the minutes.
In the minutes.
Yeah.
Because I asked, a couple of months ago, I asked the assistant for copies of all the documents related to the site plan or review, and a copy of all the plans, so that then we could start working up something to do a site plan review for a new business at the property.
Yep.
And she didn't send me that.
Okay.
The only two things she sent me for everything that she had was the letter from June and the site plan that was signed in June of 2021. So if there's anything that happened after that, I don't have copies of any of it.
It was somewhere in the late winter, early spring of 2022. That on the,
And was
I
that-
think
and
that was
was that-
right around 2021.
I just was reading something on there, like, if you go right below, and it said March 2022.
I
So
thought that was around 2021.
we had discussed it, I think,
had gone
3
through-
different times,
I
right?
went through literally every meeting.
We need to figure out where we're going to go from here. I think that, not that I'm diminishing where we've
Can I
been.
just speak on behalf of that? I mean, you guys made a motion to accept the site plan. In the event that the lights go back on, there's a stop work order.
Or a change of use.
Or a change of use. Clearly, they're not utilizing that property for antique storage.
This is what
I've
I've,
physically had conversations with the person that's working out of it. Ed Braley, is it Braley, the building inspector zoning person?
yeah.
Has physically had conversations with employees. Businesses have employees. There's clearly a business being ran out of that property. As I stated before, I don't care what they do with the property. They can run whatever they want out of there. As long as they go by the bylaws, just like everybody else in this town is accountable, held accountable for. That's it, end of story.
If they're not compliant with the original site plan, and it appears to me that the original site plan was woefully inadequate, based on what I'm hearing. However, what we need to do as a board is request an enforcement action. We need a vote to ask the zoning enforcement officer to enforce the site plan that's in place. Because that's all we have to work with at the moment. Now, it appears that they're going to come back to us, or tend to come back to us with a new site plan for whatever we're doing in there now. So at least we have now another opportunity to address everything, and that's going to include drainage and everything you brought up. But for the moment, the only thing we have to go with is whatever site plan we have in place, but we can ask for enforcement, and we can ask for enforcement of the motion that was created, but that wasn't part of the site plan, right? That was just
Well, it was
minute meetings.
because of it.
Yeah, but it wasn't incorporated in the original site plan, so it's a little dicey.
They were,
But-
yeah.
My opinion on this is that we put applicants or business owner applicants through the ringer over parking spaces and paved parking lots. Yet for some reason, we have residents that are coming here complaining about actual physical uses of land. And for some reason, to Rick's point, I've been here, some people get to slide a little bit easier than others for whatever reason. It's a different board now than it used to be. So I'll tell you that if my vote or motion would be that if you're not playing by the rules, then you gotta pay the piper. And so whatever we have to do, because a concern was brought by a resident, we need to send that out and send it out soon before anything can be adjusted to make it look as though everything has been copacetic. And
They did have a fire.
go from there. Yeah, and that would be a public record as well. If there was a fire from an employee, but you can't have an employee at a place that's not having a building. So the worst thing that could have happened is the fire department showing up to run a report about an employee being on a place that shouldn't have an employee. So therefore, if we're gonna run somebody through the ringer on a handicap
It
space,
was a barrel fire.
I say
and
we
it
have a
was being-
conversation about this.
Fire department has its own enforcement that they can do as.
It all ties together.
No, I understand.
But it was a barrel fire that was, if the building was, say this is the building, the barrel was over here in the clear land, and then there was a piece of plywood that was blocking the fire, and I was like, what is that? And that was on Tuesday, March 5th. And I was like, what's going on?
I don't recall the date of the first time that
I wasn't-
the fire chief went down there and spoke with them and said, industrial zone, you cannot burn on.
Well, a couple of days ago, they were doing it. It was pretty nasty.
Yeah, it's not allowed.
So then they don't have a fire permit then?
They just
Like
don't
a
care. They just go
outdoor
ahead-
fire
they just
permit?
goes ahead and does what they want.
They can't, right?
Yeah, not
So
on-
I didn't know that law.
Industrial.
As we all know on this side of the table, everything we say is recorded, and we need to make sure that we use our vocabulary, or we articulate what we're trying to get done correctly, so that it can't be used in some way against us. So what I would say is that I would try to expedite a request to have the enforcement officer out there to make sure that they comply with the original bylaws and what the consequences to come from if they're not in line. Now, if that lines up for another site plan, fantastic, and we'll have that conversation when the time comes. But for right now, if they're not playing within the rules, like I said to the other guy, we want you here. Just play by the rules. And if you're not,
On the same lines, if I could add, I agree with that 100%, that the zoning enforcement agent should be sent down there. But to add to that, as a matter of public safety, if there are fires down there and it's a matter of a safety issue down there, I would think that an immediate cease and desist of the use of the property would be warranted until such time. I mean, we heard the attorney speak a little while ago that, well, it's just going to operate the way it is, until we find something different or apply for it. Well, that's not working. As far as public safety wise and storage of vehicles without the proper bylaw compliance, I think, like you said before, immediate cease and desist after
the hard
an
part,
evaluation has been made, because, 2 fires, where we draw the line, 4 fires or maybe 5?
well, I think I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, I think the hard part is that I personally haven't seen cars being stored there. And I'm not saying that, I'm not discounting anybody that has seen it. What I'm trying to be cautious of on this side of the table is that what we do know is that there are lights being put on that have been requested that should not be on. There are clearly self-proclaimed employees there that are not supposed to be there. There was a fire there. So these are things, as far as what's in the building, I think that's for the enforcement
I think
agents
there are
to
pictures of
address.
that.
So can I you want to see the picture?
Yeah,
So this is.
I'm trying to be careful of not.
I have no exterior lights.
Yeah,
This is what my exterior of my house looks like,
Right.
with their lights coming off the back of their house.
right. It looks good at Christmas.
Those are the lights coming off the property.
Wow.
Over the train.
Those are all the cars and trucks parked on the property.
And they're not personal cars, right?
Nope.
Are those the unregistered ones?
Yes, those
Okay.
are the lights again on a different day.
Right, right.
you know, people working out there, trailers getting in and out of there with equipment on it. I mean,
Are we in possession of all of those pictures?
yes, Dan,
So
everyone
that we can make them available?
Did you see them?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Right.
So you could make them a,
Well, I haven't seen any.
No, I just want to make sure we had them so that we
Jake,
could.
do you want to see them?
I would rather see them so I
Okay.
can print them out. Understand.
Okay,
So I think the answer is we just have to figure out how do we get the enforcement
so you
agent?
need a motion
We need a motion
to enforce the motion?
can I just, before we do the motion, just please, just one last
Okay.
thing. The way I see it is you guys have already set the motion. And the motion says that if there's any work done at this property or business ran out of this property, other than their original site plan, it's a stop work order.
I will make
Or
a
the
motion
lights.
to enforce the motion.
The stop work order is going to be the function of the zoning, of the enforcement officer.
So then,
What we do is send him, or whoever, in this case it's a him, a request to enforce the site plan as it was originally agreed upon and take any action deemed necessary.
Unfortunately, we don't hold the power to just say stop.
Yeah,
Somebody else
yeah,
has to.
that's
we have to
really-
ask them.
that's really up to him.
my thought process is, could we make a motion to put the motion that we made in order through the zoning, I mean, because we know we're not the enforcement, so like, can we make a motion to move that motion? Or put
Are
in
you talking
process
about-
that motion?
Put
You know,
it in the motion that it complies with the motion dated and agreed upon on whatever it was,
Yeah,
June
but they-
21st or 2020.
It was
That
March
was just something that
Reference
happened.
it in the very
Right.
least.
My issue with that is I believe that that was something that happened at a meeting. It wasn't incorporated in the original site plan. I don't believe it's enforceable. I think if we could ask the zoning enforcement officer to confirm that all applicable zoning bylaws are being adhered to, and I believe lighting is in that schedule of uses, so we could make reference to the lighting, even though it wasn't particularly covered in the site plan.
lighting and uses, okay, well, I'm gonna put that in motion. I'm gonna, so moved.
Okay, if I can remember what that was.
It's on video.
Well, the zoning enforcement agent is
No.
notified
Yeah.
of the circumstances existing on
To enforce the existing site plan and take any action necessary to have the property come into compliance of all the zoning bylaws of the town of Halifax.
And let's just hope they're not off tomorrow.
So moved.
and those contingencies that were agreed to.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll second. Okay, you got it.
Come on, let me do something. I would say.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
I request a voice vote on that, please.
Aye.
Okay. You most certainly can. Mr. Gainer?
Yeah, yes.
Mr. Elliott?
Yes.
Ms. Troop?
Yes.
Mr. Milius, myself, yes.
Thank you.
But also,
I don't want to be bad here, but I'm trying not to.
But also, if he does go in there, if that enforcement agent goes in there and finds that they're in compliance for some reason, I know, but if they are, then you gotta come back and say, well, all right.
The preponderance of evidence shows that they're not, but
But still, right, but now there's record of it. We've done our best. Cool.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks. Thank you.
So if I email your assistant, she'll send me those photos?
Yeah, and part of what's happened here, we had a major move in the building and the records were all over the place, so I'm sure she just had trouble finding stuff. And she's new too, so it's been a challenge.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your help with your bag too.
I know, very much.
Cool.
Okay.
We all done? Can I come back?
Yes, you can
Come on back. We missed you.
And we did make a motion earlier to have some discussion on
Pasture Lane.
Pasture Lane. So I would just like to try to keep it narrow, that's all.
Well, you know the issue, I don't understand why it's taking our lawyers so long to communicate. I mean, certified letter, I mean,
No,
That's all been done
it's all been done.
and they still have,
several times.
and they,
If I may add, our attorneys, when I say our, the town,
yes,
Mr. Huxton has not only written, emailed, and tried by telephone on several times to note with no response. So that was the last I heard.
Was that April 2 of 2023 that we were at the selectmen's meeting at the Gray Hall, that we were asking for them to do more?
This was more,
Wait.
because this was from, maybe not the last meeting, or it might have been the meeting
That
before.
was April though,
That
right?
she has tried, and Huxham said, you know what, I'm gonna call our attorney, I don't know if you're familiar with him. I'm gonna call him myself. Crickets.
I did a little research and I came up with a proposal that was done starting back in 18. And it looked like there was some meeting of the minds, if you will, and then all of a sudden it fell apart. There was some discussion, some conversation that they had another plan based on that particular document, which is not exactly what the conditions of the original site plan approval were, but it was sort of a compromise kind of thing
I understand.
to get something done.
What I don't understand, and my frustration is the contractor's, Paquette, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. He has dug up the road, he has started the process, which the drainage is on my property, has now piles of debris, okay, that have been sitting there for 3 years now. That it's unsightly. The drainage is open. There's an open box in the back of that. I'm surprised there's not dead animals in it or something like that by now. It's just, it's unsightly. Thankfully, the town is considerate. They do plow for us, even though it's not considered a town road. It's just 15 years this has been going on.
Yeah.
It's frustrating as hell.
It's another
It's
one of
diminished
those.
our property values, and I don't know where to go from here. I mean, do you want me to call this contractor myself? And, I mean, I don't know if that would help or not, or deter.
I'm just trying to put together the chronology there. The original developer was Goodman?
It's changed properties a few times. In fact, I think the town actually owned it at one time.
Yeah, I don't think this particular person actually bought the subdivision. I think he just bought the lot.
He bought the lot, correct.
And it's incumbent upon him now, if he wants to do anything with
But I
it,
know,
to
but who
finish
gave him
it.
permission to start? He must have had a permit issued somewhere.
So we had,
That I wasn't here, so I can't answer.
I forget what year it was, that's why I was looking to you. I forget, and Rick, you might remember when we had that discussion, I forget who was here and who wasn't, but Paquette was out there, and we were trying to figure out how he was actually able to buy it without the covenant being, right?
You can buy it, you just can't use it.
You can't build on it until the roads are done.
The covenant.
Right, but
the covenant
when it
was lost
exchanged
somehow.
hands, like, you know what I'm saying? So we were trying to figure that
I have a copy of the
out.
covenant.
And then we,
I think we found a copy of
oh,
it.
you did?
Yeah, I don't know where it is because I gave it to Danielle, so I don't know if I don't think she was anticipating this, so.
But that was, it's.
But it's pretty loosey-goosey
That was
covenant, let me tell you. It's not
That was
very.
the meeting where he came in and we discussed, instead of having 2 inches, we could reduce it down to 1 inch to save the cost of,
Right.
the cost of everything that was going on.
2 layers.
Said he's going, yeah, instead of 3 layers, it was 2 layers, or
Yeah.
2 layers to
Yeah.
1.
He wasn't
And
gonna
then he was
replace
going to
some of
replace
the
the
base.
sewage and make sure all that stuff was done and raise up the,
Covers?
raise up the covers in anticipation to plow, and then to start clearing some of the debris in order to make the drainage better. And it started, and then it was almost like it was and then there was a list of, not demands, but there was a list like this, and we sifted through it, and we boiled down the list to where he stood, not in this room, but right there on the aisles, and said, I will take this list and take care of this. And then we all went, okay. And then all the residents were in the room and went, if that gets done, we'll all be ecstatic. And he goes, okay. And then the last we had heard, it had started, which was cutting down the debris and opening up the things and all that. And then poof.
This all
Just 2 years ago?
Why would they?
Yeah.
Why would they stop like that?
because he
Because I think whoever he was building that lot for backed out for some reason. told it
So
wasn't
his
a buildable
incentive
lot.
to
It was
was out the
told.
window.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars in paving and work if we're not going to sell the property.
My suspicion is that the value of the work was going to exceed anything he could get out of the lot, and that's what the problem has been all along.
So
And-
where do I go from here? I mean,
Yeah,
here I am, you know, I have brush, it's gonna, well, eventually this is gonna dry
You should
out.
have an employee have a fire. Just kidding, bad joke.
You know what, I thought that. But it is a fire hazard, come dry season, those brush piles, and now I have, you know, who knows what's living in it, you know, at this point.
The way the covenant, the way I read the covenant was unfortunate that we took a lot to begin with. I mean, that's just a mistake. But even there, I don't know that we have the ability to recover the lot based on the language I was seeing in that covenant. And that's also problematic, because it isn't like we can take the lot, try to market the lot and finish the road to get this thing over with. I think the town's done a, you know, that compromise I thought you did was pretty good. I mean, it really, you know, I know somebody else has objections to it, but we need to get this done. You know, if we can't do it 100% to the original plan, as long as we can make it workable and look good and be
I
functional.
don't think we had objections to it.
I heard an objection from one resident that they wanted to make sure that
That
it
if it
was...
said 3 inches, it's got to be 3 inches. I'm going to accept 2.5 or 2 or whatever.
Well, then
No,
we're never
it's
gonna-
got to be 3.
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
From what I've understood, because this was one of the first things, and I was actually relying on Mark because obviously his engineering background, I'm like, I have no idea what the hell you guys are talking about. It just didn't seem right from a residence to a contractor. Coming from a contractor's family background, unfortunately, most people are playing on an even playing field, and other people know how to work loopholes. And the unfortunate part is that we don't, from what I gathered, we don't hold the power to frankly do anything about it other than just be annoying until somebody wants to.
Who does though? I mean, if he started
There's
and
only-
left the stuff here, why isn't he being fined? I mean.
They just take his bond, and it's obviously financially more advantageous for him to just
There is
give
no-
up his
there is no-
bond.
but there is no bond.
But there's no bond. It's
That's the whole
lot.
problem with this whole thing.
Yes, the lot, the sale.
And based on the
Like
language...
I said a million
of the law,
times, it's just the
really
worst deal ever.
So in other words, if I'm a resident and I'm thinking, I operate in good faith, being a resident of Halifax and pay my taxes and I do this and I mow my lawn so my neighbors don't think I'm an a-hole, right? And all this stuff. And then this guy, or a person, not this guy, a person comes in and just says, or what? Do this. Or what? Pay this. Or what? And we don't have an answer for it. Unfortunately, the answer is, or what?
The only other thing that could possibly happen, and it's not gonna, is that if somebody brought an article to town meeting and tried to get the town to just finish the road, but that would be handing the guy the value of the land.
Right.
And I don't see a town meeting spending the money to do it.
Yeah, we had-
That doesn't mean it's impossible, but I just don't see it happening.
Which road was it a few years ago off of Hudson that did that?
That was Autumn Lane.
Yeah, I knew it was one of them.
And I don't even know if that ever got resolved. did it?
What are you talking about? 300,000, 400,000?
Well, right, I mean, like over the last several years, they would have had the best chance to get it. You know, because you could have gotten a new house built in Halifax for $800,000-900,000.
Well, the whole thing was pre-COVID, you could actually get some of the work done for reasonable money. It's post-COVID that has now exacerbated the problem.
That's true.
And it was the,
That's really
it was the
So how would you advise me to, is it my own expense now to clean that up?
No, let us do this, if everybody's agreeable. Let us contact our attorney again and get a list of options from him.
Okay.
And at least we'll have some idea of what we can or cannot do
Okay.
that's sort of official, I guess. And then we can kind of relate
Is
them
there
to you.
anything, and this is something for town council, is there anything that we
I mean,
can
if he
do?
owns that lot down the end, correct? That's the bidding lot that he owns. Can I just take that brush and dump it on his lot?
You can't do anything.
Why not?
However,
We can't give
putting it on,
you...
we can't give you permission to do that and put it on somebody else's property. What I was going to say, stay with me though,
All right,
stick with me.
gotcha.
Can we ask town council if we have permission to ask, look, I'm gonna use the wrong words here, the highway department in a good faith, help assist in removing at least the brush from a taxpayer's personal property.
It's actually on your property?
Because of the drainage easement?
See, well, that was one of the things when I thought we were actually going to talk about, I was going to have highway surveyor be here. I wasn't really expecting to discuss
saying
it, because we could have asked him.
I don't think we're going to solve the covenant, sorry.
No, yeah.
I don't think we're going to solve the covenant issue. I don't think we're going to solve tracking the guy down. I don't think we're going to solve the lot issue. But
Excellent
I think
point.
it would be a good show of the board's quote-unquote power to request from town council if it's okay to ask the highway department, or I was going to say park and rec department, whoever would be in charge of mowing the graveyards, to go and take some equipment and remove some of the stuff in good faith.
Because I've been down there to look at it too, and I kind of got the impression, and made the comment once, that it almost looks like if you were a builder and you were stumping the property.
Yes.
You'd put the stumps way out back, you'd bring your excavator in and bury them out back. These stumps and brush or whatnot are like up at the sidewalk, so correct me if I'm wrong, but it almost looks like it's turned into a dumping area.
It has, in fact, somebody has done
for brush, I'm not saying trash or
And you
rubbish.
own the lot with the drainage,
Yes.
so then somebody's actually dumping on your lot. Do you have any trail cams? Well, I mean, don't tell me, but trail cams?
From 3 years ago, no.
Well, you know,
There's a lot of stumps really close to the sidewalk.
I would say to avoid any further accusation that this may have been done on purpose as a proverbial finger to the people who are at other sides of the table, I would ask
It can't hurt to ask. It can't hurt
to
to ask.
at least in good faith clean up the aesthetics of your property.
I mean, he did come back and clean up the holes that were around, because it was quite the issue at one time. So I don't understand it,
Yeah, I remember there was a giant, the last resident that was in was talking about a giant sinkhole that was back there that they were worried about it was going to catch the catch basin that was going to, wasn't marked off and that children could potentially fall into it. Again, it's on private property, but it was still a situation that was a safety issue. And then it was, we'll keep trying to attempt. My concern is thinking all people are good. Not all people are good, and I'm not saying anybody isn't, but when the answer is, it's gonna cost me hundreds of thousands, or else, the good people end up with the short end of the stick. So if what we can do immediately is request assistance to at least clean up the aesthetics, I would think.
I think that's the least we can do, at least attempt to get something done for you.
Okay.
And in the meantime, we can, try to put some more pressure on council to see what he can do about getting a hold of them.
we don't really need to have council's permission to have the highway department go out there, do
No,
we?
but I like the idea of bouncing it off them and just,
Cross T's, dot I's.
yeah.
Get it on record that we asked, that we're doing something, that we are literally doing everything we can.
Yeah,
to do
I
it.
just was wondering if.
Social media is a pretty powerful tool. The media, whether you believe in them anymore or not, is a pretty powerful tool.
Like I said, this was going on for years. This isn't this isn't one neighbor just doing something.
No, what I mean by that is, you'd be surprised nowadays when you have a confrontation with a business that when certain social media is,
No, I'm well aware.
all of a sudden things get done.
Yeah.
So that's not my suggestion. It was just a,
I think it's a worthy suggestion.
You want that in the form of a motion? I'll make, if you like, make a motion that
You can move it if you want.
council be contacted and at least made aware of the concerns during the meeting of
And see if it would be appropriate
April
to
7th,
ask the highway
ask for
department.
appropriate action.
I would further that and ask that a formal request to, in good faith, remove. Not to see if we can, but to let them know we are asking.
Make it more
them.
positive.
Yeah, we are asking them to
Good point.
formally go and do this in good faith for a taxpaying resident.
Sure. Hopefully that got recorded so we can get that motion on.
I second your great motion.
All right.
Okay, so we have a motion. We have a second?
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank
Let's see
you.
what we can do.
All right, I appreciate it.
Something.
I mean,
As long as the throttle's in forward, we'll at least get somewhere, right?
What else do we need? What do we have? Bills and minutes?
We have minutes. and bills, and some correspondence.
You're welcome.
Good to see you again.
I was driving by, I was surprised I'm still here.
Have a good night.
Thank you, you too. Has everyone had a chance to go over the minutes for February 1st? Making sure who was here.
It was 3 out of 5 members.
It's you guys. Done.
Oh, yeah, right.
Sorry?
Us two weren't here.
Yeah, it's just me and you and Amy.
Man, that must have been a nice meeting, huh?
Yeah. We had hot dogs, we had
Entertainment, yeah.
I went through them, I didn't find anything, changes or deletions.
No spelling errors?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of, that one's February 1st, 2024, as submitted.
Moved and seconded to accept the minutes of February 1st, 2024. All those in favor? It was seconded, right?
No.
3 of us, yeah.
Can I
I'll
get-
second it.
Okay, moved and seconded.
Aye.
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 No, it's just you.
It's confusing.
Yes, it is.
Can I look at these real quick?
And that one's what, February what?
This is December 7th.
No, just.
We didn't have February whatever meeting. It canceled. And this one's already signed. The December 7th ones.
Okay.
You must have motioned them at the last meeting. Oh,
What's on?
oh, no.
No.
That was because somebody wasn't here and
No,
couldn't.
that's what it was, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Bert wasn't there.
Which one?
December 7th?
1941.
Oh, I could be.
Did she change it?
Well, it's just the last page has the signatures, but the attendance is Rick, me, and you.
Yeah, members absent.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the,
We have to vote again for the December 7th.
yeah,
meeting.
let's vote it again, and then we have the appropriate signatures, right? Yes, no,
Well, I have to sign.
yeah, you have to sign,
'cause-
but Bert wasn't here, right?
Right.
So we have to eliminate Bert from, she should have given us another signature
Oh,
page.
that's all right.
But that's okay, we'll just cross them out.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from December 7th, 2023 as written.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded to accept the minutes of December 7th, 2023. All those in favor that were here?
Aye.
Unanimous. Just cross.
I'll just write I wasn't here because I feel mean.
And so I was absent from that one, correct?
Yes.
So,
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't want to cross it off. I wasn't there for that. Those are already done. We weren't here.
Okay, so we're all set with these.
And when we have a bill?
Yes, we have some bills.
Oh, okay. I'll make a motion to approve the payment of the PGB Engineering invoice number 24-105 for services at 314 Plymouth Street in the amount of $280.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion to pay 2 WB Mason invoices. One is 244073941. The other is 244811884. In the amount of $29.83 and $44.08 for office supplies.
All those in favor? Aye. Unanimous.
And I'll make a motion to adjourn.
As soon as we finish
After
signing.
this.
You got the second in it tonight.
yeah, come on.
Yeah, I did. I did. No, I
Oh,
seconded.
yeah, I think you seconded one.
We do have
I
some
just didn't
mail,
want you
but
missing out.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt my feelings, don't worry.
I'm not gonna worry about the mail.
Do we have anything in there from our town or anything really abutting?
No, it's just the butters and budding towns. Notice of decision of the planning board from from Bridgewater. Decision of the planning board, town of Pembroke. Notice of public hearing. Central Street.
Central Street across.
Yeah, cross street, the town of East Bridgewater. And notice of public hearing for the town of Hanson. Was it changed for the zoning map? Is that what it is? Planning board review proposed amendments to the town of Hanson zoning map bylaw.
I'll make a motion, we accept correspondence from the surrounding towns that have been forwarded.
Second.
For it. All those in favor? Aye.
Hi.
I will now entertain a motion to adjourn. I think
I will move that.
Second?
moving seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all. Good night.
Good night.